Hi folks, welcome back to Game Geeks. I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Today's episode, Unknown Armies. This is probably the most requested review I've gotten to date. Whenever, at the end of most episodes, I say, hey, is there anything you want us to review? Please feel free to email me at knwiegel@yahoo.com. For Game Geeks, I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Good gaming. This comes up about once an episode, and it's different people every time saying, hey, could you please review Unknown Armies? Here you go, folks. It's the Unknown Armies review. This is an occult horror role-playing game that only on the surface invites comparison to Call of Cthulhu, because unlike Call of Cthulhu, this is not wed to a major product line. This is interesting because it really brings in how weird things are. I like to describe this as a Tim Powers book as seen through the extremely violent eye of a Quentin Tarantino film. Tim Powers is an author. I recommend you go out there and read his stuff. He does a good job with modern magic, how it would work, how it would look, and really how unusual magic would be based on a lot of established magic theory. This is very interesting. We'll talk about the engine real quick. It is a percentile system, and you want to roll under your target number, whatever your skill rating or attribute rating is. But if you get doubles, good things happen to you. Or if you get doubles that fail, bad things happen to you. The sanity mechanic for this is what is interesting. Unlike Call of Cthulhu's sanity mechanic, which is this ever-decreasing spiral, in this you make stress checks. But the stress check is based on different things that can really bug you. There's violence, there's the unnatural, there's isolation, there's helplessness. And you can make these checks, and whether you succeed or fail actually tells you something. If you succeed, you get a hardened notch in this. That, okay, you've hardened yourself to the violence, so violence is less likely to bug you in the future. And you can fill up a series of hardened notches that which is your typical, this guy's seen so much violence, nothing bothers him anymore. But then it makes it harder for you to relate to people because you're just so used to this crazy stuff happening all around you. This comes with a background. I'm not going to call it a very strict background, but it comes with a background of how magic works. And there's a lot of great ideas that you can just sort of go, that's weird, and sort of try to find reasons for the way that this global occult underground or occult conspiracy works the way it does. There's a film by Clive Barker called Lord of Illusions that actually, as I'm reading through this, Lord of Illusions reminds me a lot of Unknown Armies. That would make a really good Unknown Armies game, in my opinion. So one of the ideas you can go with is, they're always working on the roads somewhere in America. What if all the interstate system as it has been built and constructed, what if it's actually one big geomantic system that once it's completed does something? What then? Or is there a reason that there's a different kind of aluminum in the pull tabs on cans than there is in the can itself? All these things that you just go, well, not really, no. But if you think about it, I'm like, if I could put an occult spin on this, that would work really well. The magic system in this, as it is set up, is actually kind of interesting because it's not your usual, I throw a fireball, or I melt their face. You can do that. You can't throw the fireball, really, but you can melt their face. But the magic is different. It is really interesting because there's bibliomancy, where you get your juice from books, or there is pornomancy. We really won't discuss where you get your powers and your magic comes from for pornomancy, although I really hope you can kind of figure that out for yourself. Then there's also entropomancy, which deals with chaos, and there's one of my personal favorites outside of the pornomancer, which is the dipsomancer, which gets their power from being drunk. So they tie a few on, and all of a sudden magic works for them. It is a very curious game, and I can imagine a lot of very unusual and yet very dark games coming out of this. There's a wide variety of supplements for it that really focus in on each one of the subgroups in this game. For example, there's one magical group, one magical fraternity, if you will, that sort of weaseled their way into McDonald's, but it's, obviously they can't make a McDonald's, so they file off the serial numbers, but they've weaseled themselves into a major fast food chain and sort of dribble magic to you every now and then as you're eating. And so weird things happen. It's sort of just awakening people to what magic is and how it works. This is a very, very interesting game in terms of occult, in terms of mystery, and in terms of some almost surreal horror on almost a deeper level than Call of Cthulhu. Maybe because it's newer to me. There's stuff in this that's kind of disturbing that I kind of when I'm reading through it. I recommend this game if you like occult, if you like horror, and you just want something strange in your game. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to email us at knwiegel@yahoo.com. For Game Geeks, I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Good day and good gaming.